Lindsay Collins is in year 2 of her real estate career here on the Leonhardt Team, and she's had an amazing one. It's been amazing to see what she's done in the first year, what she did in the first 6 months versus the second half of the second 6 months, and then going to the second year. It's been an absolute whirlwind and really impressive what she's been able to accomplish. And just sitting down with her to figure out how was she able to accomplish it, what part of the Leonhardt Team is helpful for her, what she likes about real estate, what she doesn't. I think it's important for people to know maybe a little bit of what real estate is actually like. She thought of it before she got into it, why she got into it, what things maybe that our team has helped her with, and that maybe is different from being on a different team or being solo, and just kind of hearing a little bit about her journey, which has been an absolutely epic one. I think you, of all people who are living in it, like I don't think you ever could have imagined it was going to be like this when you first set out for it.
No.
I have to ask that question first then. When it comes to what you thought this was going to be like versus what it was, like what's the first thought? Like when you had the thought, like I'm going to go into real estate, like what did you think was going to happen? Does that make sense?
For sure. Like, yeah, my previous job was interviewing you guys to work with me. So I talked to all spectrums of agents. So I assume going in destitute.
Yes, yeah.
Like completely barren of any money or any contacts. Like you are going to starve. You are going to run into like obstacles just getting in front of a client. I mean, like expectations walking in the door were so low.
Really? Got it. That's interesting. So you were entitled before this. What you did before didn't really prepare you necessarily all that much for this, other than the fact that it was sales a little bit. But in title, what you would do is you'd go meet with other real estate agents to try to sell title services. You're a little bit adjacent and you got in front of people. So you had that portion of it. But what you learned from getting in front of people was like, wow, real estate's really hard.
I mean, yeah, there's really top agents, right, that produce a lot. And then there's not the top producers. And it was easier to get in touch with not top producing agents. So that was kind of who I spent more time talking with. And my job as like title is to like help them find ideas on how they could grow their business or whatever. So I was like, okay, this is what it's going to be. I'm going to have to send out mailers and everything. I don't know.
So that's what you thought. And you're like, okay, I don't know if this is really going to work. I guess what made you take that leap then?
I was something I've always wanted to try and wanted to do. I mean, not always, but in the last, 10 years, it was like something as like a hobby. I could maybe start selling real estate. That would be fun. And then I put it off after interviewing so many agents. I was like, okay, well, I'm a single mom, 3 kids. I can't be destitute with no income. And then I actually just spoke to my financial advisor at one point. I was like, I really want to try this. And he was like, give it a shot. You're going to be okay for a little while. Do it. Then I talked to actually our broker who was like, just do it. You're going to be a great agent. I think you can do it. And then did all the things, passed all the tests, and met with you guys.
So you joined our team. What was that transition like? What were the first few months like actually like for you?
First joining the team?
Yeah.
Brutal, right?
Right?
So brutal.
Talk about it. Tell me.
Well, the team environment was really nice because we were all in office. It was very different than going into other offices where like there was nobody there. So at least I had camaraderie and like people to talk to, but everybody had something going on. And there was like, I got this listing and I have this buyer need, or I'm going on these showings. And I was like, I am sitting here watching videos. I have no idea what to do. So it was really like kind of lonely a little bit at first, like, and that sense of dread of not sure if you're going to make it right away. It hits you at the back of your head like, I don't know if you're going to survive, but changed quickly.
Yeah. So I remember that. I think a lot of agents go through that. In the first few months, it feels like nothing's working because you put so much work together and you're doing all the right things and it doesn't click yet, or you need the time. You don't get the closing. Like it takes a few months until the momentum starts to go. But when do you feel like you had a moment that changed, I guess, or our conversation or something where it gave you like, okay, I should keep going? Did you have anything like that?
Well, I remember talking to you in our old office about certain leads as I started getting access to the Zillow leads or just our team leads that come in. I remember talking to you, I was like, oh, this guy, I'm driving over here, I'm driving over there. And you're like, it's mindset. If you think every lead's, can I say shit?
Yeah.
If I think leads are shit, they're going to be shit. And they work out. And I think by listening to your stories and to Andrew's stories and Mercedes' stories, like about meeting certain leads and thinking, where is this going? And then seeing the lead through or seeing that client through, it really did change it. Like when I quit answering the phone as a lead and started answering the phone as a potential client and getting to be invested in what their situation maybe is, I think that kind of changed. So it was right away when you're like, if you think lead's shit, it's shit. You're not, you won't do anything with it.
Was that earlier on in like, I don't remember that conversation.
Was in our old office with the sliding door.
Yeah.
that I ran into.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember one moment when things weren't going well, and they.
Oh, are you gonna say when you listened to my phone calls?
No, it wasn't that. When you came to my office, you know what I mean, and you're like, "Hey, this isn't working. I feel miserable. I'm not doing well. Why don't you walk me through that one a little bit?"
God, that low, that wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of running around, a lot of doors getting shut in my face, a lot of no's, a lot of follow-ups that weren't working.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you always know my attitude, I think, when I come into the door in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think you saw it probably before I even realized. And you're like, come in here, let's have a talk. So
Oh,
I did.
yeah.
And then I think I was like, I don't think this is working.
Yeah.
I don't have
Do you remember
it.
what I said during that?
Well, kind of. I think it was more about itemize some things. Like, okay, what are you doing? And then we listened to phone calls.
Right. So we did. At what point do you think real estate started to click? Because this is the first start of your story, which when you look back now, when we say where you're at right now, we can literally, it's comical to think that happened. Do you know that I have this conversation sometimes with agents? Like, you'll get brought up, they'll bring you up to be like, oh my gosh, I've seen Lindsay. She's had this amazing amount of success. And be like, yeah, she hasn't told you about the first 3 months.
No.
She hasn't told you about how difficult it was at that time. Yeah, right? Or like how she felt during that time. It's like they see you now what looks like so much success and like that it just comes easy to you. And they have all the reasons. And they say all the things about how, oh, it's probably this or she was entitled before. You know, they have so many things. Like, yeah, but I don't know if you knew it was like at the beginning. I don't think you see what she's like each day in the office or how hard she works or how long she works or what she does for her clients. So you don't see any of that stuff. You just see what she has now. And I think I remember that moment. Like, no one believes that moment ever happened. They don't think that could happen to you. And it happens to almost every single agent.
I think it
literally
has
does.
to, right?
You literally just have this, like, I'm spending and doing all of the right things as far as I can see. I'm putting in the work and nothing's happening. And then it changes. And sometimes it's just like just a keep going.
Well, I think it actually was more like a gentle feedback session where, like that mindset of like thinking you're doing something right and not wanting to change it. Like this, I'm totally doing this right. It's not me. It's the person on the other line. It's not me. It's the person that came to the door. And then when I come into your office and we talk, we kind of went through how I approached a client or how I took on a phone call or whatever and making subtle changes and having to be in the right mindset to take that feedback and not be like, you're wrong or I suck. It's like, okay, it's not working. You're upset. Like you clearly need this feedback and this advice.
Yeah.
And then it was taking what you tweaked and using it.
And I think you probably noticed that now is like there's these small little changes in just how you look at it.
Absolutely.
Maybe even that is the only thing that needs to happen that goes from 0 to hundreds kind of thing. And so having that open feedback, and I think, how would you describe to someone who's not like in an environment like that, like what that's like around here? Do you see that other places? I'm assuming you do. I hope you do. But like as the feedback or the coaching or that, the
I
mindset.
see other places?
Yeah, on this team.
On this team? Yeah, absolutely. I find it even throughout just the teammates, not even the team leads, but it's always feedback. Even like when having another Casey, he'll call me and be like, how would you approach this? I would be like, this is my recommendation, and like, this is how I would do it. Obviously, put your own spin on it. You're a different person than I am. Or you can go into Josh's office and ask for his opinion and get coached with several different ideas. Like I can take what you're saying and what Josh is saying and then kind of make it me still, but incorporate your guidelines, right? Like Andrew and Mercedes, I've asked them several times, how would they do something? If everybody has a little tweak of what you and Josh have taught us and spun it to be authentic to us, I mean, it's constant coaching, constant feedback. It's so hard to drop the ego and like assume you're wrong, I'm right. And it's like, no, you have to try. What's the worst that can happen? Essentially, when I left that office, I was like, you don't want to do this. He hurt your feelings. Maybe you think you're shit now, but you have to try. And then I did let it go and
it worked.
It did work.
Yeah. It worked a lot.
Pretty
and
well.
I don't know what this specific thing was. And
I couldn't tell you exactly what it was, but we changed quite a bit of my work style.
But I think it's interesting to see just such a small fraction of change that can create such an outsized result on it. But I think a lot of times what an agent will run into is like, my process is just fine or it's really good. I mean, I run into it. Wait until you guys have mentioned like, hey, I got a better idea than you, Brian, right? And you'll see it. You'll see it come from me, Like, it's just like you think and you assume that what you have is right all the time. You want it to be. And like, you'll defend it to the death. Then all of a sudden you try it the other way. I'm like, oh, wait, but the client likes it like this. It doesn't matter how you like it or I like it. It matters what actually works and what's actually helpful to them. So I think in what you've done, and so going through a couple of these numbers, right? Your sales volume in the first year was $6.5 million closed, right? You did 18 units year to date already. So it is July 15th today, 2026. We are 6 months into, right? Just over halfway through the year. And you are already at $11.3 million closed in volume and 26 homes. That's absolutely... It's absolutely crazy. All right. So there's also, you've had 19 personal deals, 56 team deals. Your time to your first closing was 42 days, actually. You look at all those numbers and like this creates an amazingly almost different lifestyle for you. You saw your numbers from halfway through the year. Asking this question of like, beyond just the money, what's the biggest difference about your life now versus 2 years ago?
Like pre-real estate?
Pre-real estate.
Okay. I totally love this job. And so before, when I was working, it was just to make money so that I could buy groceries or whatever. And right now I feel like I have ownership in my life. Like I have a career I'm super passionate about. I have somewhat flexibility to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I'm just genuinely proud of myself for reaching goals and trying new things and just kind of being around everybody and having this really tight friendship too that it's freaking awesome. I don't have any real complaints besides getting gas every day.
A lot of phone calls sometimes. What is your favorite part of this job now?
My favorite part about this job now, because you've been in it a little bit longer, so your connections with your clients, after showing them houses and getting to know them, some of them I haven't closed yet. I'm still working on it. We've seen each other for 2 years on the weekends. Become part friends and a little bit of family and your weekend plans. Actually really fun. Like a couple of my favorite clients just did close this last week, and it's like you never see them again, it feels like. You just like lost part of your family. Your friends just went away. Your weekend plans changed. There's that I love. And then I think within being on the Leonhardt team, like the friendships here have become family and friends. I look forward to being in this office. I look forward to talking to my colleagues and to you guys and to Tawny and anybody that works here with us. It's actually like incredibly fun to come in on Mondays and Wednesdays, like the days I make sure I'm here. It's like it builds the momentum for me for the weekend and for the day. And
helps you get to the hard stuff.
You first start and you're coming in, you don't really know anybody that well. You're trying to break down those barriers. Now, like, there's no barriers. It's just like not all fun and games, but we do have a really good time. Enjoy each other presence. And like when you get to come in and you had a really tough weekend, like we have those. It happens. There's always somebody that kind of wants to cheer you on or listen or maybe even like work through the problem with you or just flat out listen.
Vent.
I mean, judgment-free zone for sure.
We've been through it. We've seen it. It's fine.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I guess, your success and what you've had on this team, do you think you would have had the same success if you were solo as an agent? And be honest.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Why not?
I wouldn't have known where to start, to be honest. Like working in title and selling our title things seemed like that's probably where naturally I would have started, right? Doing the farming or mailers. Like I know there's guidance within our brokerage, right? I know there's people I can ask. I have a good relationship with a lot of people around the offices, but I wouldn't have known where to start, and I would have tried everything, and I would have spent probably an astronomical amount of money just trying to get a lead, and then worked myself into like a stress ball. Turns out I don't like not being busy.
I can only imagine what that would be like.
I'm like, no, gosh, that's scary.
Right. So obviously being on a team, it costs a fair amount more than being on your own.
Solo, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like that commission structure, did that ever worry you when it came to like, hey, the place that you joined or here specifically?
No, not really. I remember talking with our broker about it and then interviewing with other teams. Like every team had a split. The Leonhardt teams was the most aggressive split. But I actually went into some of the people on the teams.
Oh, yeah. you did. Yep.
Yeah. I had access to my other business to see what they were producing. And I was like, okay, this year they did that year did, and like it just showed the growth between those agents that you already had, whereas other teams I had checked out didn't have that. I'm like, at least here I see a possibility of making some money, getting in front of people. And that's where I knew I had to join over here.
Do you think with here, the choice to come to the Leonhardt Team was more so like, hey, I'm guaranteed to not fail, or I feel like my ceiling is higher here? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like I felt after interviewing with you guys and Josh, like I felt guaranteed I wasn't going to completely fail, right? Like I got a sense from you that you weren't going to let me. And I got a sense from Josh that he was not going to let me. And even Mercedes was my mentor at the time, and she wasn't going to let me fail. Like, not that it's a bad look on you guys. It was just like passionately, there's that sense of you're not going to invite people here on the team if they don't have the passion to succeed, right? So I felt that. And then I also knew that we had advantages over other things as far as like Zillow leads and leads that came in from the website, whatever, that are given to you, right? Yeah, we get those, but it's my job to still work them and close them. So that was another advantage, yes, to joining your team, was like mentorship that wanted me to succeed, didn't want to see me fail, and opportunity.
Do you feel like, I think teams run into this a lot where they feel like the commission is just like a tax on what you do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think anytime you talk with somebody who's like, I don't want to join a team, I have this split, you know, like I'm not paying that much to them kind of thing. Do you feel like here or just in general that like it is like a tax to you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I haven't felt that way. When it first starts out and the split is what it is, right? I'm still just trying to build a clientele. I'm still just trying to make some money. I'm still just trying to get in front of people. And I completely understand. I wasn't going to negotiate that because to me, I needed 100% of your guys' attention and time. And that now as my business has grown and I've closed more deals, my splits have changed slightly. I know where my commission split is going. And I don't want to do the things that everybody else does that offset my commission split, right? Like I don't want to be Tawny, even a little bit. I am so thankful for her, but I never want her job. I don't even want to know what she's doing at all. And I remember talking to somebody that just joined our team. There's so much I don't ever have to worry about. And if I were to go, actually, I talked to Pat McGrath about this the other day. He lost his assistant and I was like, yeah, I don't know how to do my deals. And he's like, are you kidding? I'm like, I've never submitted to my deals. I don't want to know. Paperwork's the worst. He's like, I didn't know how much time that took. I'm like, I don't know. So if I was going to hire somebody to do that for myself, right? And I'd still have to pay out of my commission. That's how I make my money. Yeah. I'd pay somebody to sit here and do my deals and do my transaction desk and do all that stuff. I'm going to have to pay them and train them and talk to them. I don't have to do that. Yeah. And I do get coddled by our other assistants. So
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And I'm so grateful for the people that you guys have hired to be our coordinators, or I don't even know what fancy titles they should get, but the queens behind the
they keep
sales.
The thing running. And I think
they keep it running. I mean, I get emails that say, don't forget to reach out to your client about changing, or like the end of before closing. I get a whole worksheet sent from Blue to me to my client that's like, make sure you get in touch with utilities and gas and change your mailing address and whatever, like things I totally would forget to mention. But then I see this email, then I mention it at a final walkthrough. Like, oh, did you get our email? I don't want to do that. I don't want to send that email. I don't even want to think about that email.
I think that's one of the most important things about our team is like, I know that I don't want to have to think or deal with any of that stuff at all. So I don't know what my deals is. I don't know how to send in a contract or to get it processed. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I click a few buttons, I upload it, and I let it happen. We hire somebody to do that. That is great to make sure that my file is in the right place at the right time so I can go, oh, we're accepted under a contract? Great. Let me just talk to my client when we're through inspection and we're done, right? I don't have to worry about, did the lender do this? Did they do that? Is the septic done? All of those things are taken care of for me so I can do the one thing that I enjoy doing, which I think is the same thing you like to enjoy doing, is just meeting with the clients and negotiating contracts. I don't want to do anything other than that. And it's amazing how many agents you talk to. There's like, I do all this and I spend a lot of time doing paperwork, or I have to do this. I'm like, we don't have to do any of that.
None of it.
Never.
No.
I want nothing. I want less to do with it.
Me too.
There is a board in Tawny's office that we wrote on, the click board of like, how many clicks does it take to each agent to do your job? And it's like, which one of these has the most clicks? We had a click counter. Did you ever see that in our office?
I haven't. I
Okay, it's not in there anymore. But
I should look.
we literally spent like a month to go, which one of these things can we reduce the amount of clicks on? Everything. So we're always in the reduction and refinement to making it better, so it's quicker, faster, and easier.
In like how
Always.
many years have I been here? 3, 2, 3, 2,
2, 3, 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already like astronomically changed. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You feel that like era of green
gonna
and
keep
growing, or
going.
you're ripe and rotten. Like we just keep getting new changes and updates that are so much easier. Sending a text message to my clients through Follow-Up Boss.
Yep.
Oh,
I think-
they already wrote it.
You mentioned earlier, like it was really important for you, this part of skill development or feedback or getting better at what you do and leaving this ego at the door kind of thing of going, I'm going to find a way to get better. Like if we just made you guys do that and we didn't do that on the systems behind it, or the leadership didn't do that, like that just doesn't work. I'm not okay with that in one bit at all. Like it's not who we are, it's not what we do.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
I know.
And so when you look at where our business is at right now and how efficient it is, we will find the thing to make it more efficient as soon as it is possible. And we are constantly doing that to make it so you guys can move faster, so we can be better. If we can find one little piece, it's the tiniest little change to go, this will help improve your sales or help improve your business, we will do it and we'll implement it at scale if we need to.
Absolutely. I've always felt that my commission split, whatever ratio I'm at, has always gone back into the business. I know it has gone reinvested into the Leonhardt team and our databases, our CRMs, but even like down to the dumb things like our get-togethers and our milestone achievements when we get to do golf or whatever. Like I know it's more spent back on me. So I have no complaints about it. And I get to work harder because I don't have to do any of those things. So I get to work way harder on the things I want to do, like meeting clients and the follow-up and the listing appointments and those kind of things, knowing I don't have to do any of that stuff back there. And the things that I'm doing is what's making me money. Learning this does not.
Nope.
Training somebody to help me run a CRM will not make me more money.
No, it will not.
No.
And it takes a weird amount of time. It's not easy.
So much time. And I mean, obviously I'm old too, but like I don't want to get to know the newer things. So like when we do get something new, when you go to like leader meetings and CISU stuff and come back and like, they're going to do this. Like we all learn it together in a group. It's not like we just changed to this house whisper, our AI assistant. Like it wasn't like we were on a desert island. Hey, set up your AI assistant. Let us know when it's done. Like we did it all together, step by step. We'd also set up our ChatGPT person. That was all together. If you were to send me something to do like that in an email, I would never do it.
Never.
Or please don't send me a
know.
video to watch on how to do it.
No,
I won't
totally
do that
agree.
either. But knowing that we have those designated times, and that also is part of my split. I have no complaints on the splits. I think it's silly.
You get asked this question a lot, or should rightly so, is like, do you plan to stay here for a long period of time? Or is this a stepping stone for you?
Yeah, I do get asked that a lot.
Yeah.
Or,
How do you
I
answer
have.
that to them?
I always say, I'm like, I have talked to Josh and Brian about it as my business grows. Like, where do you guys see me? How does this work? So I'm comfortable telling other people, other agents that ask me that, because agents that I do know have been in the industry for a long time, and they're like, when are you going to do your own thing? And they say I don't want to really necessarily do my own thing. And it's a very open conversation. I feel like you and Josh and Tawny, the leadership teams, are very transparent, and we can have genuine conversations about it. Again, I don't want to relearn how to do these things. If I were to leave and start off to do my own thing and Lindsay Collins real estate, I would have to learn all that stuff and train somebody. And I just don't see it hindering my business at all, staying on this team. I think it will just continue to grow. I think it'll just continue to challenge me, having additions of newer agents coming on, or with the current agents that we have. Like, I am a little competitive and I like be up there on the board. That's probably what I know about myself. I need to stay in that environment. And I have talked to you about it, and it's never, you guys never like shy away from this conversation.
Nope. I don't know. How do you feel like we respond to that when we ask you that question or feel like that?
Well,
Does that make
I mean,
sense?
it's really transparent and open, and like, what do you mean? What are you looking for? And more like direct, like, what are you asking for in the future? So I'm sure you're like trying to get at, are you asking because you want more money? You want want higher splits? Are you asking because you want your last name on a board? Like, I mean, you guys aren't afraid to ask a direct question, and then it opens up an honest conversation. That's why I don't actually even struggle to talk to you two about it, because it's like, whatever, full transparency. It's like, you're never gonna get mad at me for that kind of thing. And it is important because we're huge goal setters in this office. We just had our half court, half time, half thing.
Half court, halftime.
What was
Sports.
it? Yeah.
Halftime.
Halftime.
Halfway through the year.
Halfway through the year.
Who cares what it's called?
Okay, good. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Half thing.
Yeah.
So, right, like that's something when I talk to you guys about it, it's more just probably goal planning for like 5-year, 10-year Lindsay, not next year Lindsay. And that's something that you and I always talk about.
Here's, I think, the approach. When somebody asks me that, or when I ask you that, am I afraid of your answer? And it's not. I'm not remotely. And I think what I've always wanted to take is I'm going to teach you whatever it takes to make your way out of this if you wanted to. There's no part of this business I don't want you to learn, or I won't teach you or show you or go, hey, this is what it's like. And I'll tell you too, when the time is right and it goes, yeah, you're meant for something that we can't build for you, I'll tell you. You'll know. Like if you go, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to do this, I'm like, I can't replicate that for you. This can't be here. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make that happen while you're here, but I know you can do it on your own. Yes, go do it.
Right.
We'll help you.
Yeah.
I think there's that. I think if you're in the right space and you're a good person and you're doing the right thing, you're like, I need a change and here's why they change. I'll help you make that change 100%. And I mean that. It's like, I'm not locking you in here at all. If like you can come up with a way that like, hey, this is better on the outside or whatever this is, then let's figure that out. And I'll help you decide on that. And I'll help you get to that. But also on the other side of it is like, it's my job to make sure that what you want out of this life, this business, this job, you can have under here. And it'll be better here than it is anywhere else. If it's not, then yeah, you shouldn't be here. Like that's important, especially for someone who now sells 10 million in 6 months. Theoretically, we're getting to 20 million in a year. Does that make sense? How do we make sure that this is still a place where you can still grow? That's huge. That's important. And I think hopefully, what you've seen or know is this other piece that I think for you guys as agents, like, you guys don't have to worry as much as most other agents do.
Oh, absolutely.
Where I think when you're like, you know, you're not there yet, but you're like, when the time comes, you're like, I think they'll tell me the right thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think the other thing is like, obviously real estate has a few things that happen or a few giant shakeups that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think one thing I've been really happy that we've been able to deal with or go through is like, you guys don't feel that pressure as much as many others. Can you explain like a time? There's a couple of specific ones, but
well, I wasn't here for like some of the bigger ones. I wasn't in real estate, but God, just recently with like the interest rates changing dramatically, right?
Yeah.
And building a plan and how to communicate with your clients. When I first started and all of the documents changed, the buyer rep agreement came out and all of this. And it was like, you could read through social and news articles, whatever, but like you and Josh had already created our solution to that problem. We had a group conversation on how we were going to navigate it. It wasn't a big deal. And I remember going into other offices and like listening to roundtable discussions of the buyer rep agreement. And I was like, oh, I'm getting out of here because I know what we're doing here. Or like, I remember writing offers and this other agent would be like, you need to do this before you do that. And I'm like, oh, no, this is what we decided we're doing. And it works, right? Yeah. And I think like when, gosh, trying to remember, like what happened? Was it this winter or something? Or was it 2 winters ago? Got real quiet.
Oh, okay. It just happens.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's that. It does get quiet. It does. The fear of it turning off, the well running dry is a huge fear of mine.
Yep.
Brian has to battle that like every couple months. But the plans that you create or the ideas that you bring to the table of how we can generate more leads, or like you came up with green photos, right? So last fall, we cold called clients on our follow-up boss to be like, who wants some green photos? Not that any of them were ready to sell, but it gave us a reason to reach out. Like that was cool. Like I don't know another team that's gonna be like, hey, we'll shell out a couple. But you know, like that was a unique idea that generated some business. At least gave us a purpose.
Yeah, but I think that's been really important when we have something that, let's say, just shell shocks the real estate industry. Yeah. We go, what's our plan? What are we going to do? And let's set it aside and let's just keep doing what we've been doing. Always been that. I was like, we don't need to talk about it. We don't need to we made our change. We did our thing. We're going to put ourselves in the best position possible that maybe me, Josh, and Tony have talked about ad nauseum.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Or you can only imagine the amount of conversations I have with myself or You know,
Well,
the planning.
also thankful for
that
the
I'll
amount
have.
of research you do alone,
Sure.
you know, where I'm like,
Just so you
I
guys
don't even have to
know-
look at the news.
No, please don't. You don't have to. And go, what do we need to know? What's important to you guys? Here we go. This is what it is. If you need to know, here we go. Let's move on from that. Right. I think that's super important to have this like fear, this trust of the teams behind you, or that you have a strategy that does actually work. Because man, you'd be amazed how many times you just like don't have a strategy for situations and you just assume the worst and it feels like it's the worst. But in reality,
And then if you siphon yourself around people that are also like mindset on that,
Yes.
good luck getting out.
Yeah.
That's a big fear.
one of the big things I've noticed with somebody who wants to be on a team or doesn't want to be on a team, like the big part of it is like, oh, well, it's not my name behind it. Like
branding, right?
I'm building my brand. How do you feel like your brand coincides with the Leonhardt team? Do you feel like that's slowing you down, or do you feel like, how do you handle that?
Most of my like personal sphere just goes with Coldwell Banker. Anybody else, the Leonhardt team, who's that? Those are my team leads. It doesn't really have any influence over my business, my sphere, my Zillow leads that come in. Like I think at the end of the day, half the clients don't even know besides the color of the card, right? Like no, but I also feel like with you guys, I have my own ability to like have my separate logo, right? Like I could have Lindsay Collins, Leonhardt team, and make a logo underneath that. You guys let me design the offices. So I think I get away with a little bit more. I have created my own sign writers. Again, Tawny helped me do that because I ordered my own backwards. And I slide those on underneath your guys' cute mugs. And it has no influence. And I don't care. I don't care. Like at the end of the day, I'm still 1099. I'm still Lindsay Collins realtor. I'm not Lindsay Collins Leonhardt team realtor. But yeah, I've never once thought about it, really, to be honest. The only thing I hate is how long Leonhardt is to spell to somebody when you're trying to spell out your email address.
Yeah, I guess the email address is the other thing, especially with the two T's
With
at
the
the
two
end.
T's.
The two
T is in Tim and T is in team, and then spell out eam.
Yes. Yeah. True. When it comes to agents, other agents that you know that you think could be a good fit on the team, who do you think the team is built for? How about that? When you think of that, like the agent that is like this place would be perfect for.
We're definitely not everybody's the same, right? Like we're all unique and eclectic crowd, but you have to be driven. And driven isn't just like, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to show you guys how to make money. It's like driven is like, I'm going to get feedback. I'm going to learn how to do this the right way. I'm going to take positive and maybe negative feedback and reinforcement. Like this isn't working. Like you will get called out and you will be put on the spot to get better, to perfect your craft, to perfect your phone calls, to perfect your text messages. So you have to be driven. You have to be willing to accept feedback throughout the entire group. Like everybody has constantly giving feedback or I mean, it's advice, but at the end of the day, we don't hold back with something like at all. It's straightforward. You have to be a little competitive. Have to have a little edge, I think.
Helpful for sure.
Yeah, it is. I think so. Definitely. You have to want to come in. We're really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got to do the work.
Who do you think this team isn't for? Kind of inverse, but like think of an agent because you know what I mean? Like who would not be a good fit to like, like how you
well,
save
it's
some
just
people
like those
some
people
time.
that like really are adamant on their plans, their strategic planning or their processes, or this is how they do it. You're probably not going to work here. And we have agents on this team that have been doing this for a very long time and that came back to real estate. And we have agents that are brand new. And every single one that has joined and has committed to working with the Leonhardt team has stayed focused on that. Like, I'm not perfect at this. I need to know how to do it better. And I'm willing to try to do it your way or to at least take some of what you're seeing, make it my own. I think that if there's an agent out there that isn't flexible, not a flexible thinker, very adamant that the right way isn't for you.
No.
I'm not even say like extrovert and introvert, but like if you don't like a loud group of people or like people that are a little competitive, maybe. Sure. But I think we can bring it out of most people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's like a camaraderie of competition. Otherwise, like if you won't put in the exports, if you won't be doing the things that you need to do, and you're just going to complain or bitch about it later, that's going to be a hard one. Then you're going to get called out immediately for not doing the things because it's in your face. We know how many phone calls everybody's making. We know how many text messages you're sending. Yep. Even right now, I'm like low on phone calls and I'm like, oh, you guys could turn on me so quickly. That would be fine. But the proof is in the pudding. Like it's there. And if you're not going to do it and then complain about it or say this isn't working, then it's not. it's not working. And you can't help
Yeah.
people that aren't willing to do the work.
That-
and the work sucks, but you got to do it.
Yeah. Those 2 points that you made, I think, are critically important. I think knowing that what we cheer on or what we admire, I tell this to agents now that are coming in, it's like, if you want to gain respect from the team, put in the work, show up, do something for somebody, help somebody out. Like, that's the quickest way to gain respect.
Absolutely.
If you come in and you sell a bunch and you talk about how great you are, you'll get kicked out like very quickly. Like, that's literally what happens. The most important thing that we have here is like, it's effort based essentially.
100%.
Yes. Like, if you're willing to do the work, you don't even have to be good.
No.
You don't even need to have
I
the results.
wasn't when I started.
But you get cheered on, which is the most important thing
Yeah.
too. It's like, okay, we see you working. Like, we see you trying.
Yeah.
Great job. We know, we believe in you. We know this is going to happen. I think you've seen that a few times. I think of Grant when we...
I just was thinking of him
we think
too.
of Grant. Yeah, tell the Grant story from your perspective.
Oh gosh, this cute little kid joins the team. Zero. I mean, I could be his mom. So like zero life skills.
Poor Grant.
Poor Grant. He's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little sales, but literally we're like, you got to make phone calls. We just started hammering him right away. Like, help us. He was doing all of our like shit work. Hostess open. Run over here. Go pick up my lockbox. Go pick up the key that I put in my pocket and forgot.
Oh, yeah. He got paid. He's
He
gotten
did get
paid for most of this stuff.
Right. Let's
Yeah.
be real. He gets paid, but he says yes, right?
Yep.
So immediately he's like, "Yep, I'll do it. Okay, sounds good. What time? I'll be there." And
Yeah.
our energy started shifting. Like, let's rile this kid up. Like, he is already like kind of drinking the juice and ready to be included in the
Yeah.
wins, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like financial wins. It wasn't closing wins,
No.
but he was getting included in these small wins where he just dropped everything to help
Yeah.
somebody out. And when you see that in a person, you're like, this is gonna work. And then he just started freaking making the phone calls.
Yes.
Holy. He's put in, well, more phone calls than I think.
1,241 year to date, I think is what
Yeah.
he's at.
I mean, that's more than probably my 3 years that I've made.
You're at 761, I think,
Lame.
so far. Yeah. So Grant's story is we were at a team meeting and Grant he was the number 1 person in phone calls for like 4 weeks in a row. And I remember one part just like looking a little defeated. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like it was, I keep going, hey, are you getting to appointments? And we kind of sometimes do this as a team meeting. It's like our Wednesday meeting, like we'll take a coaching point like there with
Yeah.
everybody. I'm like, hey, what do you guys see? Like, what do you think you can help with? I remember Eric or somebody else was like standing up and just going like, hey, like keep going. Like you got
Yeah.
this. And everybody would just started rallying around like, hey, keep going. Like you're on the right path.
on the right
Just
track.
keep going.
Yeah.
And then it was like the week later, he had like an accepted contract or something like that. And I think
he had like 10 appointments or something.
Yeah.
Because I think we switched it to, I remember asking him like, what time are you calling? Or what does your voicemail sound like?
Yeah.
And I just told him like, leave a little clickbait there. A reason that they need to call you back.
Yeah.
Call her later in the evening.
Yeah.
And then like the next week he had, I think it was like 10 appointments in a contract.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, there we go.
Right. I think that
And he's
that
what, 22?
that rallying around somebody is, I think, awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's so great, and it's been fun to watch. His ego's even growing too. Like
Confidence.
Yeah, the confidence is there. So
yeah. One of the best things, what I love to do when it comes to talking with an agent about potentially joining our team is I can tell them what I think, and that's one part of the equation. The team lead, of course, I want you on the team. It's a sales pitch, and you're sales pitching to a person that's in sales.
that's impossible.
Yeah.
We're the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst. I think the approach that I take is like, I'm going to tell you all these things. Go ask Lindsay. Go ask Mercedes. Go ask anybody on the team. Go ask the person that sells the least. Like, ask them. I don't want my view of what I think this team is versus what this team actually is to be different in any way. I don't sell based off of my expectations, what I wish the team was. I sell and recruit based off of here's what I think we are. Here's how I think you fit into that. I think recruiting has gotten a bad name. I feel like there's so many empty promises that happen. I think it's so many times that so many people have been burned so many times to, well, it's going to be like this, and you're going to have this, and you're going to get this many leads, and you're going to be great. And none of that ever actually happens. And then I go, I've heard this before. You're just like them. You're just the same. Like, it's always that. And I just like, that happens. And if anything, we've been almost on the other side of that, of being like under promising and over delivering, where a lot of our recruiting meetings that I've had is like, do you realize that real estate's going to be hard? If you remember like our meetings when you first like, hey, just so you know, like we didn't really talk about all the things you provided or what it was, or you didn't know any of that stuff. The only thing you joined here on was like you saw other people succeeding here and like, okay, maybe that can be me. And you got some good advice from somebody else. Like that's why you were here. It wasn't from us going, oh, we have this and we have this. We don't do that. But I think when it comes to those things that I know that they'll ask or that I know the reasons why they won't join a team, I'm going to ask you and you just answer those things as if you would, right? The good and the bad. And I think that's what a lot of this, what I want to be is like, I don't ever want you guys to not tell the truth. I want you to tell them exactly what it is. I want you to tell them all the flaws, all the problems, all of that. You can, like, it's just fine. Them knowing what this actually is far more important than just making it sound pretty and them getting here and it not being what it is. The thing that all that we have to do as team leads and leaders here is we need to make sure this is a place where you guys can be successful and you guys can get what you want out of this business and this life. And so far we can do that really, really well. And that's what's most important. But with that has to be like, it's not always for everyone, right? But the question that I always get asked and the biggest thing we run into is, hey, I can go to LPT Realty and get 100% commission split. Like, why would I take a 50-50 commission split versus going to 100%?
To make more money.
Hold on, I can make more money, right? Dead serious. This
Dead
is right
serious.
to it. How? Please tell me how.
Well, I mean, I proof you can make a lot more money even with a 50-50 split. You're getting 100% of your commissions, but how much are you selling? I'm getting 50-50 of mine, but I closed, what is it now, over the last 3 years? I don't even know.
How many units?
60 units, something like that.
Right, you sold 18 in the first year, you sold 26 so far this year.
So 26 units this year.
Yep.
So I'm already probably outproducing you and your 100% commission split. Great. That's awesome. I have a lot more time during my day to continue to work, that I'm not doing other things that my commission is going towards. I understand the split conversation. I get it. It seems like a lot, but I have no complaints about my 50-50. I've never given it another thought because I doubled my income from a salary and commission job in a year.
True.
So why would I mean, the 100%, great, good for you. As long as you're making the money you need to provide for yourself and your family or however you spend your money. As long as you're making money, good, I guess.
Right. So you had said this of like, if you're solo and you had 100% commission split, how much would you have earned? I mean, I can kind of do the math here and it's significantly more here.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of that has to do with.
Yeah. If you went to my right now, because I'm still a newer agent, like if you went to that right now and what you told me of my personal sphere versus my other lead source closings, like I'm still heavily relying on those lead sources, right? It's up to me to close them. It's up to me to take them to the finish line, but I need that. And I love it. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's an important one, I think, to realize is like, okay, if you have 100% commission, 90, like realize that what are you getting from it is the important part.
Right. Have you ever bought business cards? Because I haven't. Have you ever designed a business card? I haven't.
True.
Do you know where our signs come from? I don't.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how solo agent pays for their split or their signs. I don't know how any of that works. I don't want to know. But at the same time, I know that those are fees that are placed upon those agents or pictures. I've never paid for pictures. I have no idea what that costs. I have no idea how to order them. All those things, they're not a part of my day-to-day routine. That is part of my commission split, and I am happy to give that over. You know, like why need control over ordering spacecrafting or whatever? The sign installation, I don't know what those costs.
Yeah. I think when you have that sort of, I feel like I'm getting a pay cut. Like if I'm 100% here, if I'm 50% here, you know, I'm 70-30, like that means that I'm losing money. Like I'm getting money taken out.
Right.
It's like, that's not actually how that works. That has to.
Go ahead, solo agent or somebody getting 100%. Now itemize. What are your business expenses?
Yep.
Present them to me.
Yep.
And let me see if that matches the 50%. Let me see if that matches the 40%.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has to.
Yeah.
Come damn close. And what were you going to pay yourself an hour? $7 an hour for each time you do those things?
Yeah. I think that's the one piece that I noticed that agents run into a ton is like this feeling that, hey, when I get in the office, like it doesn't feel like anybody's there to help or support me, or like I'm kind of just on my own. Like, sure, some people give me advice and the broker's there to help me. Like, what would you say to that person of how this place is different?
You know, like you're on social medias, right? And you see people that are in our industry maybe having like a really really tough day. And
Yeah.
we have them. Like, you can get fired, or home doesn't close, or, like things happen all the time. And you see them like use that as an outlet just to be heard, right? Because they don't feel like in the office that they have made maybe friendships, because we're all 1099. Everybody's kind of in their own world. They shut themselves in their doors and hunker in, So it's like, if you don't feel like you have somebody to talk to or to like problem solve or to just listen, it can be a really lonely job. And then I think in my case, I'd be like an overthinker, like spiral out of control, just worry myself sick if I didn't have somebody to talk to.
Why do you think agents can be more successful here than they can on their own?
Setting goals, having a purpose, finding what you're good at too, like of the skill sets, like you guys kind of are like, this is what you're good at.
Thanks. If you want to know more about the team, click the link below and schedule a one-on-one meeting with yours truly.